Dad's grandfather used to work in the coal mines, as many men did in the north of England back then. But he was locally known more for the tomatoes he grew in his back garden greenhouse. See, as a perk of the job, they used to get free coal to use at home, and he built pipes that transported heat from the coal burner to the greenhouse in the back garden. This meant it was always warm in there, creating perfect growing conditions for his tomatoes. Apparently they were the tastiest people had ever tried. My dad retells the story with such fondness. I think it had a great effect on him. My name is Kerry Kitchin and I'm a furniture designer based in Canton Schwyz in Switzerland. I come from a family of craftsmen. My dad's a joiner by trade, or Schreiner as they say here in Switzerland. His command of the materials and the necessary skill set to turn out work of the highest standard is something I've always looked up to. About 10 years ago I started watching videos online of a Japanese woodworker and started longing for the simplicity that his work provided. Alone in his workshop, surrounded by the tools of his craft and endless possibilities of what he could make and do with his time. Of course he had a job to do, but his time seemed to belong to him. His tools, his designs, his space. My dad found his trade somewhat by necessity. Necessity was background and of an unexpected trajectory, whereas I've come full circle and done so off the back of a much greater choice of opportunities. Makes it feel somewhat deterministic and something I've been unable to avoid. I graduated from university in politics, but I found myself drawn more to design. Started a creative publication in Newcastle before moving to London to work as a creative at an ad agency. Design's part of the process I spend a lot of time on. My abilities as a craftsman inform my designs, and this keeps the designs very close to the craft. Started building my own workshop in the UK and began the process of learning to master my tools. Then life brought me to Switzerland, and it's here that I've really found my purpose. On my drive to the workshop every day, I see the Alps and it really grounds me. Millennia have passed and those mountains haven't changed at all. If built correctly, furniture will also endure. I think of making furniture as a subtle and dignified legacy. It doesn't shout, it just sits there quietly in a room, sometimes for many years. Passed down through generations or sold on, maybe even discarded, only to be reclaimed again later down the line and perhaps restored. Over time it picks up its own wear and patina. Perhaps the seat of a chair gets scratched, or the panel of a cupboard door cracks. It all tells a story. Trends in fashion are in constant flux, but handmade furniture will always be handmade furniture. There's a form and a shape it must take in order to be functional. Within that form there is freedom to explore. It sounds a bit cliche, but it really is the form that frees the eyes. I think for a while now we've been seeing a swing towards handmade furniture as a reaction to mass production. People want longevity in what they buy, and they want their possessions to tell a story about themselves. I'll always make furniture. Even when I retire, I'll have a little workshop by the side of the house and I'll make pieces just for myself, or as lavish gifts to friends and family. Always adding to my quiet and subtle legacy, and perhaps using the offcuts of timber left over to warm my own greenhouse and nurture the best tomatoes in town, just like my great grandfather.